You're watching the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters' three-time award-winning YCN Game of the Week. The YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948. William A. Smith Auction Gallery. They host 45 auctions yearly. Check the schedule on their website. Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, providing independence for patients and peace of mind for families. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist, much more than a home heating provider. La Valley Building Supply, 10 retail lumber yards serving New England for over 55 years. Ramonto's Brick Oven Pizza and more, always fresh. People, food, great times await you. Baba's Bar and Grill of Newberry Harbor, where Baba wants you to know we're having a lot of fun. And Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire.
Good evening and welcome to Hanover, New Hampshire for tonight's regular season finale in Division II boys basketball between the Lebanon Raiders and the Hanover Marauders. Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy Stout, joined as always by my broadcast partner Scott Quimby, and tonight we've got an exciting rematch from just seemed a couple weeks ago where we saw in Lebanon a overtime buzzer beater from Hanover to remain undefeated and break a big, long losing streak in the regular season to Lebanon. Hanover has since fallen. They've actually fallen a couple games. They've lost 2 games. They sit at 15-2. Lebanon Raiders sitting at 14-3. Scott Quimby, thanks again for joining me, and we've got an exciting one here. This obviously means a lot for playoff seeding. The winner could get into the top 4 seed. The loser might be bounced all the way down to 6. It's going to be a big one tonight.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, that first game, what a game it was. It went into overtime, and Henry Pikus won it on about a 30-foot three-pointer with no time left. You know, those two teams obviously very evenly matched. That first game proved it. We should see more of that tonight. And, I mean, this game's huge. Lebanon obviously sits 1 game behind Hanover here, so if they win, their record's tied. It'll go to a tiebreaker. Obviously, you know, potentially if Lebanon wins, you could have a 4-way tie for 3rd place. Obviously, Hollis, Brookline, and Pelham playing tonight as well. There's a lot that can still happen here in Division II. It's going to be a very exciting game, and I guarantee you both teams will play extremely hard.
So Lebanon, as we mentioned, coming into this one at 14-3 off a loss to Hollis Brookline. We were there earlier this week. They lost 51-48.
Yeah, tough loss too. It was one that they kind of had a chance there at the end and just couldn't make the plays to get it done.
And they really they were in control, and they had, you know, a good game going in for the first half, and then we saw the third quarter kind of get away from them, and then before we knew it, Hollis Brookline was up to a 9-point lead at one point in the fourth quarter, but a good effort from Lebanon to come back, obviously getting the 3 free throws. John Williman wasn't able to make them, but at least they came back into it.
Missed the middle one, which was the key, so they had to intentionally miss the third, and you know, Williman ended up missing the rim on the play, and that was essentially all she wrote. But, I mean, really the story of the game for Lebanon, I thought, was their offense just never got into a rhythm. I mean, the previous game against Sanborn, they put 88 points on the board, and they were able to just muster 48 in that last one against Hollis Brookline. Credit Hollis Brookline's defense, but Lebanon had a lot of open shots, and they weren't hitting them, I thought, especially early in that game. So we'll see how it goes tonight. I think Lebanon's just going to start hitting some shots.
And over on the Hanover side, obviously we mentioned them with a couple of losses, and of course the defeat against Lebanon. Then they went They came back home and beat Stevens, and then they lost. We knew they would have a tough schedule to end. They ended at Hollis Brookline, Kennett, at Conval, at Pelham, and then, of course, tonight against Lebanon. They've already lost 2 of those at Hollis Brookline and at Pelham. Well, tough end of the season.
That's something we discussed in that previous Lebanon-Hanover game. Was both teams' schedules were tough to finish the season out, and Lebanon here with 1 loss, the 2 for Hanover against Hollis Brookline and Pelham. I mean, whoever loses this game tonight, it's going to be their first 2-game losing streak of the season, and this is how you're ending your season. So this is a big momentum shifter going into the playoffs, either way.
And, of course, as we mentioned, we don't know all the scenarios. We're not going to get into them, but basically Hanover controls their own destiny because if they win,
if they win, they're the 3rd seed, guaranteed.
They lock up at least the 3rd seed. You throw in Bow and Conval coming down to a loss, but you're right. Probably Bow and Conval will both not lose.
At the very minimum, Hanover is
3 seed,
3rd seed
with a win.
Lebanon,
on the other hand, the only thing they can really guarantee is if they lose, they're going to be they're sitting in 5th place. They're not going to go up. So if they lose, they'll most likely drop to 6.
Yeah, I mean,
but with some consideration.
Pelham playing Bow, they would have to upset Bow in order to jump Lebanon at this point, as Lebanon is listed ahead of them in the standings. But
and Lebanon did beat Pelham, so they're probably in 5th place.
These top teams are very jumbled. Pelham obviously lost to Lebanon, beat Hanover. Hanover beat Lebanon. It's Hollis Brookline beat them both.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. It's going to be an exciting playoff, and obviously senior night here as we're watching the Hanover Marauders just honoring the Lebanon seniors, and we obviously went over those last week. They have a number of seniors, 8 seniors, and over on the Hanover side, definitely fewer seniors, I believe, by my count, 4 seniors, I think, and one of them won't be playing. John Loftus is sick. He won't be playing tonight.
Last week we had an amazing 16 seniors on the 2 teams combined. Probably the most seniors I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about those 2 teams, Lebanon and Hollis Brookline, very well-run programs, and they're going to lose a lot, but it'll be interesting to see who can kind of rebuild and get back there next year.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of turnover.
So the seniors that we are talking about here for Hanover, we'll just start number 0, senior 5'10" guard Nolan Gantrish. Also a senior guard 5'10" Charlie Adams. A 6'3" senior forward Joe Brennan. And number 11, a 6'3" senior Eric Seltzer. So only 4 seniors being introduced by Coach Tim Winslow, and a good crowd here tonight filling in. Still some empty seats. So
it's not quite as full as that Lebanon-Hanover game. I think a lot of the Hanover fans traveled out there looking and hoping for that first win in years, and it was a pretty even crowd there, Lebanon and Hanover. So it was an outstanding environment.
So if you're checking us out, watching the pregame at home, we're glad that you can be watching us, but if you want to come out, there are some empty seats, and then you can check us out on your phone, YCNnow.com, so you can get the best of both worlds. Watch it live and then check it out on the phone. So now here's Nolan Gantrish, and we saw him before. We've seen him. He gets hot from deep, and that's going to be the big thing with this Hanover team. We've seen them a lot this year, a few times, and they are one of those teams that they just get lights out, and there's nothing you can do to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, even if they're not hot, they play a really tenacious defense. It's going to be a close game. It might be low scoring if they can't hit their shots, but at times they can absolutely just start nailing everything and put up a huge number on the scoreboard and really just outpace their opponent.
And they have the inside presence, Jai White, the sophomore, who's 6'4", the tallest player on his team, and tied as the tallest player on both teams. The only other guy who's 6'4" is Calvin Bates, a junior forward over on Lebanon's side. And we've seen him get hot from the inside. He doesn't really stay outside much. Free throw shooting, got to get a little better at, but inside game, he's really good.
He's very dominant around the rim, not just shooting the ball, but his offensive rebounding is just tenacious. I mean, every time Hanover shoots the ball, if it's a miss, he's going to be there contesting that rebound, and that's huge. It gives you so many more opportunities to score the basketball. Hanover probably outshoots their opponents almost every game just because of him banging the boards inside on the offensive glass.
And one of the shooters here that we were talking about earlier, Charlie Adams, he's another sharpshooter, and he's being introduced. That'll be the 4 seniors for Hanover, and obviously the 8 seniors we talked about earlier this week from Lebanon. We'll take a break and come back. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
Simple solutions, challenging world. Let Echo Communications make your life simpler. From the beginning, all easily coordinated in one place. Echo Communications provides simple solutions in a challenging world. One place, many solutions. Learn more at echocominc.com.
No matter what season it is, you can always find the best in American and Italian cuisine at Bubba's Bar and Grill in Newbury, New Hampshire. Stop in to enjoy our fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizzas, the award-winning seafood chowder, and a new seasonal menu just right for the cooler months. Dine in or take out. You can check out our full lunch and dinner menus along with daily specials on our website each day as well. Bubba's Bar and Grill, just 2 miles from Mount Sunapee in the beautiful harbor of Newbury, New Hampshire.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. H.R. Clough installs water conditioning systems to purify your water and add life to your hot water heating system. Now is the perfect time for one of our expert staff to evaluate your needs. For a free estimate, call H.R. Clough today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
There once was a haunted house. People said they had heard voices, but no one dared to go inside.
There's a place for wood in your backyard. We recommend the Fire Pit. For looks and performance that outlast a wooden deck, make sure your next deck is built with Trex, the world's #1 premium decking brand.
Trex products are available at LaValley Middleton Building Supply. Visit us at lavalleys.com.
I had broken my humerus. I went home in the care of the VNA, and I met a group of women that I'll never forget. All of them were, in a way, just the most therapeutic and totally understanding people I think I've ever met.
Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice is your locally managed, nonprofit home health care provider. It's your choice. Ask for us by name when home is where you want to be.
The New Hampshire Heritage Collection by M.J. Harrington Jewelers is imagined and designed by our craftsmen, inspired by the natural beauty and special places that make New Hampshire extraordinary. The Old Man of the Mountain, Common Loon, Covered Bridge, Sap Bucket, and New Hampshire Lakes Collection are tributes to the story of the Granite State, made in America, handcrafted, uniquely yours, from M.J. Harrington Jewelers.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby, high above here in Hanover Gymnasium. As you see, both teams back to warming up after their senior night announcements. As we mentioned, 8 seniors on Lebanon, 4 for Hanover, and it's going to be one of those games. We know, Scott, it's a kind of a momentum into the playoffs because, as you mentioned, neither of these teams have lost 2 straight games this year.
And they're both coming off losses in their previous games. I mean, this is a huge game for both teams. Obviously, a rivalry game, as we talked about a lot in their previous game, which Hanover won for the first time in many years against Lebanon. Hanover's been the tighter, more consistent team this year, but it's equally big for both teams, absolutely for sure.
And like you said, Hanover clearly has been, the better team for longer parts of the season, not only defeating Lebanon, but because they had that winning streak of whatever it ended up being, 12 or 13 games.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like Hanover was going to be going for an undefeated season there for a while.
But now you wonder how much the grind of these last 5 games, 3 on the road of their last 4, and then of course you got this one, and 2 of them were their losses. We mentioned earlier, speaking of the Hollis, Brookline, and Pelham, You wonder how much of that grind has taken place. But on the other side of things,
honestly, before you go on to Lebanon's schedule, I'll say this for Hanover. I think that little bit of a grind is actually a good thing for them. I mean, they're getting battle tested for the playoffs. They're facing playoff teams. Teams
right.
are going to have to face again Pelham and Hollis Brookline, maybe in the earlier rounds Kennett, Conval. They're all playoff teams. So I think this is kind of battle testing them, and it may be humbling a little bit. When you're undefeated, that adds a lot of pressure to your season when you get into playoffs.
And like you said, just facing all these really good teams. And the other thing, Hanover hasn't played. Their last game was Friday night at Pelham, and of course that was their loss by 12 points, 71-59. Lebanon, in that time, they played Friday night, then they played on Monday, and now with a quick turnaround, they're again on Thursday. So now they've played 3 games, counting last Friday, and this will only be Hanover's second. Maybe not a huge issue. I mean, these kids are high school kids. They're able to bounce back. Probably not a big issue, but just maybe one more thing to think about. You know, Coach Tim Winslow's had a little bit more time to practice a little bit.
Agreed, but with that said, Lebanon's schedule has been a little bit easier than Hanover's. It hasn't been quite as tough. If you look at some of the scores of their previous games, they've had some serious blowouts. I'm sure they've had a lot of bench players going in there, like the 88-33 game against Sanborn.
Right, you probably don't have your starters in the fourth quarter.
Exactly, 67-28 against Co-Brown Northwood. So Lebanon, although they have played a few more games recently, I think they are still getting opportunities to rest their starters. Maybe the practice time does affect things a little bit, but I think they'll be all right. These young kids, their legs will be nice and fresh.
Right. Anyway, that's not a big deal. And, of course, this is the final game of the regular season. The brackets will be announced. Should be tomorrow, maybe Saturday as they finish up Division II. And then, of course, depending on who's there, we're hoping it's Hanover, we're hoping it's Lebanon, we're hoping it's a local team. We will be down at UNH. It'll be Saturday, the 21st of March, and that'll be a 3 o'clock game. Unfortunately, won't be able to carry that live, but we will be there recording it and putting it on. So hopefully one of these two teams we'll get to see again this season, because as of now, that's really our next boys game. We'll get to our girls schedule shortly, but this might be the last time we see, probably last time we see one of these teams. Not sure which one.
Most likely. I mean, it would be a difficult uphill battle for
both
these
teams to get
somehow,
to the finals.
Both get to the finals against each other. And it might not even be possible the way seeding winds up. They might end up playing each other earlier if they even make it that far. So, we're not rooting for any team.
Right.
We just hope for good basketball.
Right.
But certainly, obviously, it's a little more fun for us when it's a local team, and there's a handful of those. And we're very fortunate to have Lebanon and Hanover both playing great basketball this season.
And as I mentioned, the girls basketball, the brackets have been set. And obviously, as we talked about on Monday, you've got Hanover as the number 1 seed, Lebanon as the number 4 seed. So they are on a collision course to possibly meet in the semifinal game, which will be at Dartmouth College on Saturday the 14th. So we'll be bringing that game to you, whether it's Hanover or Lebanon or another local team. But those two teams, once again, at the top of their game, looking to get to the semifinals, and first year Dartmouth College has hosted the game. Those are usually down in southern New Hampshire, so another treat for us here in the Upper Valley.
Even better, we get a nice local college hosting us, and a great college at that with Dartmouth, and they have a great arena, and that's certainly going to be fun to head up to.
So this will be our final regular season game, and then we'll be back for playoffs on the 14th, and then again on the 21st. So we'll get to the starting lineups first. Looks like Lebanon and Hanover are ready to go.
So am I.
And I'm sure we'll get the typical starting lineups for both teams. Obviously, the one question, and I'm not sure, but Karsten Hansen, I'm not sure if he's the one in the on the crutches down there for Lebanon. He was the one who was injured on Monday night, and I haven't heard the diagnosis if he's ready to play or not. That would be the big question for Lebanon.
He was having a great game, too. He came out in the second half red hot, if you remember, and hit a lot of big shots for Lebanon coming off the bench. So if Karsten Hansen can't play, that is certainly a big loss for that team, and I certainly hope he's back if he does not play tonight for the playoffs.
So number 1 starter is number 1, Jackson Stone for Lebanon. Senior guard, number 10, Logan Falzerano. Number 12, John Williman. Number 22, Wade Rainey. And number 35, Caleb Smith. Of course, coached by Keith Maddie. Starting for the Hanover Marauders, number 2, Jai White. Big force in the middle. Number 5, the game winner from earlier matchup, Hank Pikus. Number 10, Joe Brennan. Number 1, senior guard, Captain Charlie Adams. And the final introduction, number 0, senior guard captain Nolan Gantrish. There are the starting lineups. We will take a break and come back with the tip. After this, you're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
Warner's Main Street Bookends has been your community bookstore since 1998 and voted Yankee Magazine's Editor's Pick Must-See Bookstore. Bookends is a full-service store offering a huge selection of current fiction and nonfiction with children's book selection, toys, and games. Bookends has a huge card selection for all occasions, along with Main Street Marketplace and Gallery in the attached barn. 100% solar, Main Street Bookends of Warner is building your community one book at a time.
Why is it always time for pizza in New England? Because Ramonto's brick oven pizzas are popping up everywhere. With dough made fresh daily and baked in brick ovens, plus pasta, sandwiches, and artisan salads always from fresh ingredients, you're never far from good times and great food at Ramonto's. Ramonto's brick oven pizzas are the locally owned restaurants that make freshness taste so good. Want a piece of the pie? Visit Ramontos.com for franchise opportunities.
William A. Smith Auction Gallery hosts 45 auctions a year. Our customer base is worldwide, and our reputation is for honesty and fairness. Join us for one of our live auctions. Check out the auction schedule on our website. Auction day is lively and fun.
Sold 3,381. Yeah, sold 253. Sold 850 straight away.
We look forward to seeing you on auction day.
Welcome back, Hanover, New Hampshire. We are set for tip-off. The Raiders and the Marauders, Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby, and a full house here in Hanover. Hanover obviously there in the white jerseys, Lebanon in the maroon. 8 minutes on the clock. Final regular season game for both of these teams. Playoff seeding at stake. White and Stone will tip it off, and it goes to the Marauders, Charlie Adams. Pikus, quick trigger from Gantrish off the mark, and Williman with the rebound.
No hesitation there for Gantrish. He's pulling up right off, and, he had a look. He just left it a little short. It's not something we've seen in the last few games we've done here. Usually a lot of passing early in the offense.
Caleb Smith with a nice little move to get by his defender.
And a strong move. He's able to take the contact in the air and still got the ball to go in the hoop. Here's the up fake. White kind of fell for it and slipped on it. And then just a strong move right there by Caleb Smith. Big early hoop here for Lebanon.
And the free throw, no good. That foul is going to go against Pikus, his team's first, as we see Pikus not able to handle that one, and it'll go back to the Raiders.
Yeah, even if Pikus caught it, his momentum out of bounds, all he could have done was probably try to throw it back in play. Not much he could have done with that pass there. That's not on Pikus.
Falzerano, he'll run a lot of the offense, doesn't score a lot, but he runs the offense, gets it to Smith, and then over to Stone, who is fouled along the baseline, and that'll be Hanover's second foul in only 43 seconds.
Yeah, it was a great double team on Stone, but Stone kept the ball moving, and Hanover never tied him up and ended up kind of getting him on the arm.
Falzerano inbounding. Rainey wants a clear out, but he's going to give it to Williman, and then they're going to try and isolate, but that's not going to work. Jackson Stone was calling for it, but it was up going back to Rainey. A little bounce pass close, but Falzerano, nice little handoff, and that's Williman with the bucket.
Kind of just dribbling around the outside, and it seemed like he lulled the defense to sleep and found a nice path to the hoop for the easy lay-in. Uncatchable pass there from Gantresh to White. Pass was a little high and wide.
And then the three-pointer from Williman in the corner. He's got it going early with 5 points.
This is exactly the start Lebanon wants right here. You see the drive and a beautiful pass. Drew all the defenders inside and got a wide open look.
And a great look from the cameraman down on the baseline, helping us out there. Got all of the pass, and Falzerano got all of it. He's going to give it to Williman.
Wisely kind of slowed it down, but definitely skipped his feet a little bit when he tried to stop. When you're going full speed to a stop, sometimes it's hard to get that pivot foot to lock to the floor, and that time he lifted it up, and the refs caught him.
Yeah, he was deciding if he should go dribble it in there and thought better of it, so he pulls up, but just not quite enough time to stop. 7-0 our score, Lebanon on top. Williman with 5 and Smith with a pair. Here's Falzerano again. He gets it up to Caleb Smith, and the trailing defender Brennan with the foul.
Lebanon so far is creating turnovers, and they are pushing the pace, going right to the hoop, and Hanover seems to kind of be forcing the ball to Jai White, and Lebanon's ready for him, and that's a big cause of these turnovers. Hanover's really got to clean their offense up here. They had the opening possession. They had a pretty good look. It fell a little short, and they haven't done anything offensively since.
Caleb Smith hits the front end there, and as you mentioned, creating the turnovers. We've seen Falzerano nicely done. He's stolen a couple passes as Smith misses it, but Rainey gets the offensive rebound, and now Williman will set it back up.
All the bounces going Lebanon's way so far here in Hanover.
Jai White coming out to take on Falzerano. And then the kick out to the corner.
Yeah, he was a little long with it, but another beautiful kick out.
Yeah, good kick out. Stone just strong, and Hanover crowd letting him hear it as the ball goes over everything for the air ball.
Something for the Hanover crowd to cheer about here in the early going.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes into this one, they have yet to put the ball in the basket. It's 8-0. They need a bucket here. And that's going to be an offensive foul. I believe that's going to go against number 10, did they call that?
They're calling it on the pick, saying it was an illegal screen.
It's Joe Brennan's second foul, and Coach Tim Winslow will get Brett Simmons up, and he'll get in the game.
Having to send Brennan to the bench this early is certainly not something you're looking for, and that's already 4 fouls here for Hanover. At home, mind you.
So now Lebanon setting back up their offense. Rainey mishandles the pass, and that's going to be a turnover. So some turnovers keeping Hanover in this one, as obviously we saw the travel a couple times down the court, and then the turnover there. But have not been able to take advantage.
Yeah, they really need to figure their offense out here and get a good look.
And there we go.
That'll
Here's
work.
Gantrish.
That'll work.
Any look from Gantrish is a good look when he gets going.
You know he's a guy that can shoot. He's the one that took the first shot. He left it a little short, but it was on line. Felt confident enough to pull up again and drilled this one. He doesn't even need to be open. I mean, that wasn't exactly an open look. The defense was kind of around him, but he's good enough to pull up and bury it right in people's faces. Lebanon now struggling here to get the ball to the rim. Good defense by Hanover.
And they
forcing a turnover, travel.
They're going to call another travel. Falzerano, that's a second turnover. Tried dribbling it inside, but then realized, you're right, 2 nice defenders there from Hanover. He pulled up again, called for the travel. So Hanover with a 3-pointer right here is, right down. I mean, not like they're out of it by any means, but they're right back in it. That one's blocked, and that's going to go to the line. That's Adams.
That looked like a pretty clean block to me. It was kind of a forced layup. Let's see the replay here. He takes the screen out. Here we go. Now, we didn't see enough to exactly confirm the call or not, but it looked like all ball to me.
So
here we go. He's going into him. There is a little body contact before the free throw. Maybe that's what the refs are calling there.
So Adams hits the first free throw, and we're back here with free throw number 2. Falzarano checking out of the game, and Tommy Bertha Savage checking in after Falzarano's had a couple of turnovers. And there's Adams, hits his second. He's 2 for 2.
That's what you want to see from Hanover. They hit their free throws. We've seen them hit a high percentage of free throws, other than we've seen Jai White struggle at times. But the rest of the team has been very good free throw shooting in the games we've seen.
Hanover setting back up their offense. There's Williman off the screen, and he takes the elbow jumper for 2. He's got 7 points.
We know Williman can score over 900 points in his career. Getting off to a hot start here tonight, not what Hanover wants to see.
Andrus goes in. Refs swallow their whistle. They say let him play. No contact. It's too egregious.
Yeah, if you can't tell who's to blame,
right,
let it go.
Don't
let
play.
It go.
Don't call it. And that one's thrown a little bit far in front, and it's going to be a turnover, and we've got a timeout. Coach Tim Winslow wants to talk it over. 10-5 our score in Hanover.
Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Elizabeth Durazio, and
I'm your host, Abby Peel.
Coming to you from the town of Hopkinton.
Coming to you from the New London Barn Playhouse. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming on this beautiful day.
Beautiful day, perfect spring day.
We've been here as a staple in many of the communities. And
so many people that you get to meet and a wonderful community that you feel like you're always welcome in.
With this great opportunity of opening a restaurant that's really community focused.
So join us again next week
for a new edition of Yankee Chronicle.
Hank Pikus ready to inbound it after the Tim Winslow timeout. 10-5 our score. Lebanon leading this one. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby with you on a Thursday evening. Final regular season game. Hanover falling behind early there. They're trying to get it into White. That was
fortunate
tipped.
breakdown. Really try to force it into White as much as they are now. They knew Lebanon was trying to take him out of the game, which is what they're doing here again. And all White's offense came from the offensive rebounds. So we'll see if Hanover maybe adjusts their offensive strategy here a little bit. I'm a little surprised so far, though.
Falzarano checks back in for Smith. Also in that timeout, Bates came in. So kind of a small lineup except for Bates.
And the ref calling Williman with a foul there on White, saying he maybe pushed him a little bit. I mean, that's part of Lebanon's strategy. They're going to get physical with White, who's probably the most physical player on the floor out there.
So that's the team's second foul. Williman's first. Hanover swings it around the perimeter. Deep shot from Pikus, just off the mark. And
that was almost as deep as his game winner in game 1 of this series here.
Bertha Savage grabs the rebound. Nice little cut by Williman, but Falzarano leads him a little too far.
The second cut in a row that we've seen here, with the pass just leading the guy out of bounds and creating turnovers here. Lebanon needs to stop forcing the play. I mean, if it's not there, don't make the pass. They're trying to get a little too cute offensively, and it's really letting this Hanover team hang in the game.
10-5. We approach 2:30 to play in this first quarter. Lebanon has led all game. And White is going to get called for the travel as he tried to back down his defender, took an extra step.
Yeah, he's real frustrated right now with the way Lebanon's playing him defensively. Lebanon doing a great job trying to take one of Hanover's better weapons out of this game.
Falzarano driving, kicking it out to Williman, driving baseline, nice double team there, and then has to throw it away, and White comes away with it. Poked away on the other end by Stone.
Yeah, that was a great play by Stone. Good heads-up play, never gave up.
And then Williman going strong, and White's going to get called for the foul. Williman will go to the line. So Williman already with 7 points out of the team's 10. Caleb Smith with the other 3. He'll be at the free throw line.
This might be the most frustrated I've seen this Hanover team this season. Obviously, we didn't see their last game against Pelham or their loss against Hollis Brookline, but This offense really is confused and frustrated right now by the looks of it.
Williman, second one, no good, so struggling at the line early, and they do get the offensive rebound, though, to give them another chance. Williman wants to call out the play. Stone looking to get it back out. He does get it to Falzarano. He cannot get a pick. He finally gets it back out in the corner, and Bates is long again. So a couple shots from the corner for this Lebanon Raider team, and they've both been long.
A little shorter than the last time for Bates, though. He's getting closer. This next one's probably going to go in.
There's Gantrish driving baseline. He'll be fouled before going up with it, so he'll be not shooting free throws. He will not be shooting free throws, but he draws the foul. That's going to be Bertha Savage's first foul, team's third. 10-5. A little bit of a scoring drought going on here for both these teams.
Yeah, I mean, Hanover's really struggling to get the ball inside, which is what they're trying to do. They need to set up some plays maybe to get their shooters, like Gantrish, who we saw at a three earlier. From the outside here, they go right back to White inside again. And apparently I'm mistaken, forced into a double team. Lebanon was playing great defense there. I think Hanover might have been a little fortunate.
Yeah, lucked into that basket. 10-7, inside a minute to play here in a low-scoring first quarter. Williman to Bertha Savage, back to Williman. Not going to rush this one as they've had some empty possessions. Really would like a bucket here. Last time down, Williman missed a couple free throws. They got the offensive rebound, still couldn't put anything in. Here he is driving baseline. No good, offensive rebound and the putback, and that time Bates gets it to fall.
Yeah, nice job by Williman there getting under the hoop. He got the shot up, he didn't hit it, but it was a good look, and Bates, as soon as he saw the shot go up, crashes the boards and makes sure he's there if it doesn't go in, and gets the putback.
Pikus off the dribble, kicks it to the corner. Simmons shots partially blocked, and that's going to do it for quarter number one. The Lebanon Raiders come out. They lead early. They lead often. 12-7 after one here in Hanover.
Simple solutions in a challenging world. Let Echo Communications make your life simpler. From the beginning, creating design through the commercial print process and ending with custom mailing, all easily coordinated in one place. Echo Communications provides simple solutions in a challenging world. One place, many solutions. Learn more at echocominc.com.
No matter what season it is, you can always find the best in American and Italian cuisine at Bubba's Bar and Grill in Newbury, New Hampshire. Stop in to enjoy our fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizzas, the award-winning seafood chowder, and a new seasonal menu just right for the cooler months. Dine in or take out. You can check out our full lunch and dinner menus along with daily specials on our website each day as well. Bubba's Bar and Grill, just 2 miles from Mount Sunapee in the beautiful harbor of Newbury, New Hampshire.
For over 11 years, Bubba's Bar and Grill has been providing hungry patrons with high-quality food and friendly service with a mission of delivering a remarkable experience to every visitor. And Bubba likes to remind you, we're having a lot of fun here. Start of the second quarter. We'll go back to Lebanon as Hanover opening with the turnover, and will be Hanover basketball.
You were correct with the Lebanon turnover, though, so,
Getting 50-50.
You're doing all right.
Better than the shooting percentage for either of these teams, I would imagine. High scorers so far, Williman with 7.
We haven't seen Pikus put the ball in the hoop yet. He was obviously the star of the previous game. Our Game of the Week player of the game. Hanover's going to need to see him get going. I mean, they really need to see anybody get going. Just 7 points in that first quarter. Certainly that bench can't be happy about that.
Yeah, Gantrish and White, the only 2 field goals. And as we see a nice pull-up jumper from Smith, the three-pointer from distance.
That is not something in the games we've done that we've seen a lot of from Smith, his outside game, but that was a beautiful touch in that shot.
And he's got 6 points now. been the Williman and Smith show for the Raiders. Bates has contributed 2 underneath the hoop right before the end of the first quarter. Deep 3 goes a little bit off the mark from Galbraith, and it'll be back to the Raiders. So continuing to get some cold shooting from the Marauders.
I thought Smith, he was getting a little confident. He might tee it up from about
Deep.
25, but he pulled it down.
Falzerano trying to shake Adams off the dribble. Can't do it, so they'll reset. Williman over to Rainey, and then Smith from the corner. Maybe does he go there? No. There's Stone. And he'll draw the foul. Be up at the baseline. It's going to go against Pikus.
Yeah, I mean, Pikus was there defensively, but you got to let the ball handler go to the rim there and just kind of play under the hoop and maybe block the shot there. He got you on the first step. You're not going to beat him to that spot. So you can't use the body like that or you're going to get called.
That's their 6th team foul, and that one's deflected, and then White picks it up, getting it up ahead to Pikus, who will go into the defender. No good there, and the rebound by Williman. The pass stolen by Pikus, and Hank Pikus puts it up for 2.
It wasn't easy for Pikus to break that little scoring drought for himself, but he found a way.
Missing the front end there on the fast break.
That was a very aggressive drive.
And there's Pikus. Nice move there, and then back live.
Yeah.
Caleb Smith with the basket.
We missed it, but Caleb Smith kind of just split the defenders and took it to 2 guys and went up strong with it. Could have got an and 1, but made an impressive shot and put Lebanon back on top 17-9.
Hank Pikus going to the free throw line. He'll shoot a pair. This Lebanon-Hanover game is being brought to you in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all your printing needs. All our schedules and live broadcasts can be found at our website, YCNnow.com.
Pikus is really starting to pick up the intensity on the offensive end. He's really pushing it, pushing the pace, attacking the hoop here. I don't think he was happy with himself in the first quarter, and he's putting it on his shoulders to make sure this Hanover team doesn't put another 7 on the board.
Smith with the foul. Well, that's his first and Lebanon's 4th. Pikus missing the front end. He does get the second one. 17-10. Hanover still trailing in this one as they have the entire contest. Smith trying to take his man off the dribble, but he'll have to settle back and restart it with Rainey. Five minutes to play in the first half. Falzerano, nice little dribble pull up, but he's off the mark, and then the rebound to Adams.
I mean, that's good. It's not forced offense by Lebanon. I mean, here we go with Hanover kind of jacking one up quick, but Lebanon was kind of methodical there, and they got a pretty good look, a good jumper from the, basically the free throw line right at the corner.
That was blocked by Falzerano, and then after the block, it's going to be a foul against the Marauders.
Hanover shots are just coming so much tougher, and I mean, we see a three-pointer get stuffed right in the face.
Adams gets blocked by Falzerano, then going for the rebound. Adams gets the foul call.
They need to move the ball around a little bit better to get some open looks.
And that's going to be the 7th foul, so Falzerano will go to the free throw line and shoot a 1-and-1. Today's game is being brought to you in part by Ramonto's Brick Oven Pizza. You're never too far from great food and good times at Ramonto's, the locally owned restaurants that make freshness taste so good. Falzerano hits the front end. He's on the board, his first basket. Lead is up to 8. Second one is good as well. Biggest lead of the night, 19-10 inside 5 minutes to play in the half. Hanover really, as you said, got to get some less contested shots. As we see, Galbraith almost taking it. Pikus takes another contested one.
And that was a good no call. Pikus fell down on the play, but no foul there for sure.
Williman calling for it. Falzerano didn't see him. Smith now taking on White.
And
Stone in the corner.
This is something we've seen from Lebanon. They don't necessarily have that number one scorer. They share the ball. They have a lot of guys that can put the ball in the hoop. And that's part of the reason why they move the ball and pass it around a lot better than what we're seeing from Hanover.
We got a timeout on the floor. Williman was signaling for timeout, and the refs weren't seeing it, but they finally did. They'll take a timeout on the floor. We'll take a break as well. 19-10 Lebanon. 3:53 to play in the half.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. With more frequent major weather events, don't say again, I should have installed a generator. H.R. Clough provides the best home generator systems available from Generac. Our highly trained personnel provide you a complete turnkey installation. For a free estimate, call the H.R. Clough Company today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
Lebanon Raider crowd out in full force as their team leads 19-10. I don't know if many people expected this one. Hanover has really gotten cold from the floor. They have not made many field goals, only 3 made field goals of their 10 points. Gantrish with 3, Jai White with 2, and Hank Pikus with 2, and then 2 free throws for Adams, 1 for Pikus, gets you to 10.
Yeah, I mean, back to what I was talking about, the offense is Hanover's really seeming to force the ball through their main scorers, which is Jai White and Pikus from what we've seen. They're taking a lot of shots and kind of trying to play almost isolation with Pikus on the outside or force the ball into White. They need to move the ball around better as a team here to get some good open looks, which is what we see with Lebanon, who any player on the court, all 5 guys are always a threat to score. So, you know, that's going to be a big key for Hanover here as the game progresses.
Rainey gets it back from Falzerano, and White blocks Rainey's shot in the paint. Here come the Marauders. Galbraith from the corner, no good. Falzerano grabs the rebound, and the Raiders look to run 4-on-3.
Aggressively attacking the hoop, but I think it's probably a reach in before the shot is. Oh, they're giving him the free throws.
Well, either way, it's a 1-on-1 at
yep,
worst,
right.
so I'm not sure what the call was. Haven't seen a signal from the rest. They are going to say 1-on-1, so the foul is on the floor. That's going to go against Gantrish, his first. Falzerano's free throw is no good. He's 2 for 3 from the line. Well, Hanover struggling, but only down 9. It's not as if Lebanon has entirely pulled away.
I mean, they're
couple shots and you're right back in this one. Not that one from
not
Adams.
Running away from it. It's just not something you're used to seeing this Hanover offense, who's scored so well this season.
Williman, the pull-up three-pointer, fast break, and he's got 10. One of those shots you wouldn't have seen years ago, but now the value of that three-pointer, fast break, pull-up, you'll take it, and White go to the free throw line.
Finally, Hanover with an entry pass that got into White. That's something that we've seen a lot in the Hanover games we've done. This is the first time it's worked tonight and probably the 5th or 6th attempt. Lebanon doing a good job getting their hands up there in the passing lane and swatting that away.
Falzerano called for the foul, his first, team's 5th. White not able to hit the free throw. The YCN scoreboard sponsors LaValley Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Remodel, repair, renovate. No matter what your building material needs are, LaValley's has it. So White, another crack at it. And this one is good. So he's 1 for 2. He's got 3 points. 4 for 6 from the line are the Marauders. We approach 2.5 minutes here. Raiders doubling up the Marauders, 22-11. Inside the Stone, a little too deep there.
Yeah.
He shoots it a little far, and that's White with the rebound.
If you're stuck in the post up that far out from the hoop, you got to kick it back to the perimeter there. You can't force that one up. Odds are you're going to miss and miss badly.
And then on the other end, a turnover. It looked like Gantrish Maybe a little miscommunication, and he cut one way. The ball went right to the Lebanon bench. So the Raiders back with it and a chance to add to their 11-point lead. Here's Falzarano. Nice move inside. Can't finish. Tipped around. And he stepped out of bounds on the baseline. Couldn't save it.
If he didn't go for the save, I'd be curious to see who the ref would have called that out on. I was thinking it was probably of Hanover, but Falzarano wasn't sure, so he put the extra effort in to go for it and try to save it, and unfortunately could not.
Pikus with a tough pull-up jumper, no good, and they continue to be cold from the floor.
I mean, this is amazing for this Hanover offense. The fewest points they've scored in a game this season was a 54-point win against John Stark. Just 11 points with a minute and a half remaining in the half.
Gantrish over to Adams. He'll dump it back into White, who's covered by Smith pretty nicely. White, one too many steps.
Yep.
That's what happens. Nice work on the defensive side, making White work, and he works a little too much.
I mean, it's just tremendous defense for Lebanon right now. I mean, they are just swarming this Hanover team and not giving up anything, especially inside right now.
So here come the Lebanon Raiders. 1:20 to play in the half with the 20-11 lead. They've scored 10 this quarter, and Hanover has scored 4. So the 19 points total scored in the first quarter as a low may be eclipsed in the second quarter as a low. Rainey struggling, but he keeps control, gets it out to Smith, and Smith hits his second three-pointer. He's got 11.
You never know who's going to step up for this Lebanon team. First half here, it's Caleb Smith so far.
Smith, the leading scorer, with 11. Williman with 10. 21 of the 25 points. Three-point attempt off the mark from Pikus, and now with 30 seconds to play, Bertha Savage slows it down. Keith Maddie calling out a play from the sideline.
And I'm sure a very happy Keith Maddie right now.
Yeah, especially after the way that last one ended, where they had a shot at the end, and they got the quick turnaround to get the loss off the books and hopefully end the regular season with a win, and they're trying to do that here. Timeout on the floor. Keith Maddie calls that one from the bench. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. 7.7 seconds to go. What are they calling up here in the huddle? I'm sure you got a 20% chance of getting it right, because anybody can score for this Raider team.
Yeah, I don't like my odds. I don't like my odds, Jeremy, and you're absolutely right. This could go to anybody. I'll tell you, I'll go with a three-pointer, and I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to go for a three-pointer with no time left on the clock.
And also Tim Winslow in the other shot. He was trying to drop a defensive play, because really, this Hanover team, I mean, if you give up a dagger here, I mean, this is getting to that point where it's not too much, but it's getting close.
It's not insurmountable right now, but you're already going into the halftime, into the locker room with a very upset head coach. I guarantee you that. 11 points from your offense in the entire half. Like I said earlier, that 54 points was their previous floor. So let's see what Lebanon can do here.
5 seconds to play. Bertha Savage will get it back. He's trying to find Williman. Williman has it. He'll throw it up, and that's off the mark as Adams was contesting.
Not quite the three you wanted.
You got your three-pointer. Lebanon didn't convert. We're at halftime, 25-11, and Raiders lead the Marauders. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
There's a big difference between a big box store and a LaValle Middleton building supply.
When you're a local store, you need to compete with the bigger chains. So we've combined our purchasing power with over 300 independent lumberyard and home centers, and we've passed those savings on to you.
Our customers have grown up with our stores, and now their kids are shopping here with our kids.
We have everything you need for any home improvement project you can think of.
And the possibilities are endless.
If we had a motto, it would be neighbors helping neighbors build a community.
I had broken my humerus. I went home in the care of the VNA, and I met a group of women that I'll never forget. All of them were, in a way, just the most therapeutic and totally understanding people I think I've ever met.
Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice is your locally managed nonprofit home health care provider. It's your choice. Ask for us by name when home is where you want to be.
Someone once said that trust is always earned, never given. With a 70-year heritage of diamond expertise, MJ Harrington Jewelers has earned the trust and respect of loyal customers for generations. Whether the occasion is a new beginning of life together or celebrating a decade's deep love, the professionals at Harrington's take time to understand our customers' dreams, then turn those dreams into exquisite reality. At MJ Harrington Jewelers, trust is as precious as the fine diamonds we offer. We look forward to earning your trust.
Warner's Main Street Bookends has been your community bookstore since 1998 and voted Yankee Magazine's Editor's Pick Must-See Bookstore. Bookends is a full-service store offering a huge selection of current fiction and nonfiction with children's book selection, toys, and games. Bookends has a huge card selection for all occasions, along with Main Street Marketplace and Gallery in the attached barn. 100% solar, Main Street Bookends of Warner is building your community one book at a time.
Why is it always time for pizza in New England? Because Ramonto's brick oven pizzas are popping up everywhere. With dough made fresh daily and baked in brick ovens, plus pasta, sandwiches, and artisan salads always from fresh ingredients, you're never far from good times and great food at Ramonto's. Ramonto's brick oven pizzas are the locally owned restaurants that make freshness taste so good. Want a piece of the pie? Visit Ramontos.com for franchise opportunities.
William A. Smith Auction Gallery hosts 45 auctions a year. Our customer base is worldwide, and our reputation is for honesty and fairness.
Rolex right there, $5,000, $3,000. I got two there, thank you.
Join us for one of our live auctions. Check out the auction schedule on our website. Auction day is lively and fun.
Sold $3,381. Yeah, sold $253. Sold $850 straight away.
We look forward to seeing you on auction day.
Welcome back. Halftime here in Hanover, where the Raiders of Lebanon lead the Marauders of Hanover 25-11. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby, and Scott, we talked about it that entire first half. This Hanover team just not able to hit anything. Only 3 field goals in that first half. Nolan Gantrish with a 3, Jai White with a 2, and Hank Pikus with a bucket and a free throw. He's got 3, but just really, they went cold right from the get-go, and they just never got it going.
I don't even know if I'd call it cold. Cold is usually like when you're getting looks and you're just missing them, you know? Hanover hasn't gotten any looks. I mean, even when they are shooting the ball at the rim, when they're not turning the ball over, they're 4 shots. They're contested shots from 3, and they're just not good looks. Hanover's offense is really going to clean things up here in the second half.
Really struggled trying to get it to White, as you mentioned. Like I said, he's got 3. He had the field goal underneath, and he's 1 for 2 at the free throw line. Charlie Adams 2 for 2 from the line. Pikus with the 3 points, and Gantis with the 3. Over on the Lebanon side, they've had a lot more success, but it's really been Williman and Smith, as we saw Smith hit a big 3-pointer towards the end of that second quarter, and he's got 11 points to go along for, he's got 1 for 3 from the line, plus the 4 field goals. He's got 11. And Williman has 10 points. He's 0 for 2 from the line, but the 10 points from the field. So really, that's their offense. Of course, Calvin Bates contributing with 2 and Falls Arano with 2, but those 2 shooters you want to talk about, they're heating up. Those 2 are great.
Williman's a guy that you generally expect to be around double digits or above. He's probably their best offensive player. He's kind of their team leader in a lot of ways, but Lebanon always seems to have guys step up that we haven't seen step up before and score, and Caleb Smith's been that guy, and I'm sure he has in games we haven't done, but tonight he's been on fire so far.
He's been really right from the get-go with a bucket. He went to the free throw line a couple times. Couple threes, which, as you mentioned, is one of those things not very prominent in his game. 3-pointer. So Lebanon right now in control, and that'll really jumble up the standings if they're able to make the finish. As we see here, the standings, Lebanon sitting at 5th, but of course, if they get the win to go to 15-3 and Hanover goes to 15-3, you could have a whole bunch of trouble in tiebreaker scenarios.
You can see how tight it is between 3, 4, 5, and 6. If Lebanon wins, they're going to be tied with Hanover. Hollis, Brookline, and Pelham also playing. They could potentially win their games. We're going to 4-way tie for 3rd place. And, who knows how the heck that tiebreaker's going to work out. I know we don't know.
Yeah, we haven't quite figured out all the scenarios.
But there's a lot of scenarios that can take place. I mean, Lebanon certainly, assuming Hollis Brookline loses, Lebanon can potentially jump up to maybe number 3 if they have the tiebreaker over Hanover. Hanover can maybe fall all the way down to number 6. It's hard to say exactly what can happen with the tiebreakers.
And that the 4 seed is really the big seed, or 3 or 4 rather, because of course then you'll get 2 home playoff games basically guaranteed. As long as you win the first one, you'll get to host the second one.
And there's 15 teams that make the playoffs, correct?
Yeah, there's 15
and then
teams.
number 1 gets to bye.
Number 1 gets to bye.
So, coming later in the playoffs, not round 1, but round 2, you're going to start having to worry about home court advantage, and that's where it really comes into play. That's the top 4 seeds that you're talking about. So a win here for Lebanon is very important as they sit number 5.
Yeah, so there we have the standings in the NHIAA Division 2. That will wrap up this week. Bracket should be announced by the weekend, and then the playoffs will start. We'll also be bringing you playoff basketball Saturday afternoon, the 14th. Should be the Division 2 girls semifinals. That's Dartmouth College. We should be having that game, as we talked about at the opening. Hopefully, for our sake, a local team, Hanover, Lebanon make it. There's a couple other scenarios. But
again, not rooting for anyone.
Well, we're rooting for Hanover and Leb to make it. Then once we get there, then we're not rooting, right? Because we're not doing those games, so we can talk. We know we got Hanover and Lebanon viewers who want to see their teams at a local arena, which we don't get to see much of, as they're usually at Southern New Hampshire University. The boys' Division II finals will be at UNH on the 21st. So we got a few minutes left in the halftime as the teams are just coming out to warm back up. So we'll take a break and come back after this. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
I had broken my humerus. I went home in the care of the VNA, and I met a group of women that I'll never forget. All of them were, in a way, just the most therapeutic and totally understanding people I think I've ever met.
Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice is your locally managed nonprofit home health care provider. It's your choice. Ask for us by name when home is where you want to be.
Someone once said that trust is always earned, never given. With a 70-year heritage of diamond expertise, MJ Harrington Jewelers has earned the trust and respect of loyal customers for generations. Whether the occasion is a new beginning of life together or celebrating a decade's deep love, the professionals at Harrington's take time to understand our customers' dreams, then turn those dreams into exquisite reality. At MJ Harrington Jewelers, trust is as precious as the fine diamonds we offer. We look forward to earning your trust.
Warner's Main Street Bookends has been your community bookstore since 1998 and voted Yankee Magazine's Editor's Pick Must-See Bookstore. Bookends is a full-service store offering a huge selection of current fiction and nonfiction with children's book selection, toys, and games. Bookends has a huge card selection for all occasions, along with Main Street Marketplace and Gallery in the attached barn. 100% solar, Main Street Bookends of Warner is building your community one book at a time.
Why is it always time for pizza in New England? Because Ramonto's brick oven pizzas are popping up everywhere. With dough made fresh daily and baked in brick ovens, plus pasta, sandwiches, and artisan salads always from fresh ingredients, you're never far from good times and great food at Ramonto's. Ramonto's brick oven pizzas are the locally owned restaurants that make freshness taste so good. Want a piece of the pie? Visit Ramontos.com for franchise opportunities.
Welcome back. Halftime here in Hanover as teams are out on the court, or Hanover's out on the court practicing their shooting. They'd like to get something going, but as you mentioned, Scott, it's not just the fact that they're not shooting very well. They're not getting any open looks, so they'll look to reverse that. And Lebanon looks to be ready, so although they are changing the clock now, so we're inside 90 seconds before the second half. So we'll take a break and come back with the second half on the YCN Game of the Week.
You're watching the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters' 3-time award-winning YCN Game of the Week. The YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948. William A. Smith Auction Gallery. They host 45 auctions yearly. Check the schedule on their website. Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, providing independence for patients and peace of mind for families. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. Much more than a home heating provider. La Valley Building Supply, 10 retail lumber yards serving New England for over 55 years. Ramonto's Brick Oven Pizza and more. Always fresh. People, food, great times await you. Baba's Bar and Grill of Newberry Harbor, where Baba wants you to know we're having a lot of fun. And Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire.
And we're back as we see the Marauders battling inside. White had a couple looks at it, couldn't quite get it to fall. And
yeah, I mean, we saw right there something that we didn't see a lot in the first half. They got the ball in clean to White, and White had a good look. He couldn't hit it. He got his own miss and failed to hit the putback.
Well, Lebanon having a little trouble holding on to it, but Falzerano gets it, guarded by Adams. He goes by Adams, and then the kick-out three-pointer from Stone.
You take
on the board.
A flat foot standstill three undefended all day from right there. And Stone took his time and drilled it.
28-11 going back into White, but guarded nicely by Smith, so White's got to kick it back out and reset the offense. Minute gone by here in the third quarter. Three-point attempt is deep and no good from Galbraith. Continuing to misfire are the Marauders. Only 4 points in that second quarter. Got to be a season low, I'd imagine. As you mentioned, they've only scored 54 was their season low total.
Yeah, not many positives to go into the locker room with if you're Hanover, if any. I mean, they really struggled offensively in every aspect, and defensively they weren't great. They gave Lebanon some good shots. I mean, Lebanon was only on pace to score 50, but as we see, this Lebanon offense can cut through this Hanover defense.
Defense being drawn down to the baseline, and then Williman kicking out to Smith. He's got 13. Smith has never had a more open look.
Yeah, he has in practice.
And the foul there on the baseline. Falzerano a little aggressive on the defensive side, and Adams draws the foul. That's Falzerano's second, team's first of the half. Inside Adams. And again, drawing the foul.
Yeah, he'll get to the line here, Adams, but it was another kind of forced shot. He kind of forced himself into the middle and kind of went for a tough hook shot. Foul or not, I mean, I can't imagine that shot would have fallen. This Hanover offense still, they don't look like they corrected a lot of their issues that we saw in the first half, at least in the first 2 minutes of this third quarter.
So Adams hits the front end. Falzerano picks up 2 quick fouls, and he'll sit down on the bench with 3 fouls and only a minute 54 gone by in this quarter.
That might be something Hanover needs to really do, is just try to get Lebanon into foul trouble here and get to the line a lot.
White grabs the rebound. Pikus gets it in the corner. Three-pointer no good from Galbraith, and here come the Raiders, but Williman slows it down.
That's one of the first open three-pointers we've actually seen from Hanover. So that was good ball movement there. The shot didn't fall, but they need to continue to do that if they want to get back in this game.
And Stone wide open underneath. Another easy bucket for the Raiders. Gantrish trying to break down Williman off the dribble, but he'll kick it out. He'll get it back and fire. Off the mark. Hits the wire and above the hoop, and it goes back to Lebanon. So Coach Tim Winslow wants to talk it over. He's yet to see a field goal made in this third quarter. It's 32-12 Lebanon. YCN Game of the Week.
William A. Smith Auction Gallery hosts 45 auctions a year. Our customer base is worldwide, and our reputation is for honesty and fairness. Join us for one of our live auctions. Check out the auction schedule on our website. Auction day is lively and fun.
Sold 3,381. Yeah, sold 253. Sold 850 straight away.
We look forward to seeing you on auction day.
This game is being brought to you in part by William A. Smith Auction Gallery, who hosts 45 auctions yearly, many in their auction house in Plainfield, New Hampshire. Check out their schedule on their website at wsmithauction.com. So out of the timeout here, the Marauders really need to get something going as they trail now by 20 points. They scored 4 points in that second quarter, and they still only have recorded 3 field goals. And now they're going to come out in some full court action. That's Coach Tim Winslow wants.
Yeah, I mean, you got to mix it up here a little bit and try something here. So they go with a full court press and hope for turnovers, and that's exactly what they get. And they push the pace off the turnover and get a fast break, but a nice job by Lebanon getting back and stopping it.
And here it goes into the middle. Charlie Adams, his shot is blocked. And clearly, Tim Winslow says we got to be aggressive. They're pressing and they're driving to the hoop. Now, whether they're great looks or not, they're just trying to get anything going because
I'm sure he's on the bench just preaching, be aggressive here. Just be aggressive.
And
don't quit fighting, but, you know, passes like that are not going to help out your situation here.
And here's a double team. Pike is coming up to double team Bertha Savage, but he's able to get it up. And then ultimately Pikus gets it again. 2-on-1, and they go back to Pikus, and he misses the lay-in after getting it back from Adams. And going the other way, no good from Smith. The rebound from Williman, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Something in the air here tonight for Hanover. They got a strong wind on their end, whatever end they're going at, and the ball just can't go in the hoop.
And they're not been able to hit.
Hanover goes to that full court press, and they force 2 turnovers. They get 2 fast breaks, and they come up empty on the other end. So, yeah, nothing's working here for Hanover.
So that foul will go against Gantrish, and that is his first.
Now Lebanon's at the free throw line, potentially adding more points, and they will add at least 1 more here. And Hanover's got nothing to show for that.
Right, for those
good
2
effort,
turnovers,
for
yeah.
Good effort.
Williman gets the first free throw. He's 1 for 3. He's got 11 points. And he makes the second one. He's got 12, but not quite the leading scorer. That's Caleb Smith with 13. And Williman trying to sneak up from behind. Pokes it away. It'll stay Hanover basketball.
Yeah, it wasn't really a full court press there for Lebanon, but Hanover's, all the players were kind of down the court, and the inbounder had to kind of throw it almost to 3/4, almost half court there, and Williman was heads up and almost stole that.
Here comes Adams going in strong. He tries to get it to White. It's tipped away, and it'll be Hanover basketball. So once again, we've seen Adams now drive 3 times this quarter alone, but really with no success.
I mean, he was just going full speed, kind of wildly looking for White. Almost turned the ball over. That's not working, but maybe they can get this guy hot, Jai White, getting the ball in the post here.
Nice backing down of Smith, and Smith picks up his second foul, and the team's 3rd in this 3rd quarter.
And they've tried to get White going. They are really struggling to get the ball into him on the post.
And he makes his free throw. He's 2 for 3 now. He's got 6 points. Leading scorer for the Marauders.
Let's see if Lebanon can handle this full court press a little bit better this time. They do, and they get into their half-court setup here at least.
As we approach the halfway point of the 3rd quarter, lead is not dwindled. It's expanded. And that will be a foul. And it looks like Stone will It'll be a non-shooting foul, so Stone will not shoot free throws, and Bertha Savage will inbound. 14-point lead at the half has ballooned to 19 in this third quarter. That's where we stand. Lebanon in control. Now at this point, if you're Lebanon, it's don't turn the ball over and
take
don't
your time,
put your team
get a
at the
good
line.
look. Don't take a bad shot.
Right.
Do not take a bad contested shot here.
No shot clock in high school basketball in New Hampshire, so no need to rush as Williman tries to break free, but the foul by Adams will be well before the shot.
Good foul by Adams. A great move by Williman. Williman would have had an easy two if Adams hadn't
Adams
the reach
was
in there.
beat there, but he'll pick up the foul, or maybe that's going to be called on Pikus, his third, and the team's third. Nice little drive there by Bates.
Yeah, they left Bates alone right at the top of the key there. The inbound pass came to him, and the defense was a little late getting there, and Bates had a wide open lane to the hoop and got the easy lay-in.
And on the other end, Bertha Savage, I believe, is going to get called for the free throw. He will. Number 14, Tommy Bertha Savage. He's been kind of quiet tonight. His second, team's fourth. Fighting for the ball, Williman and Gantrish, and then it goes to Lebanon, and then Williman gets fouled. Gantrish gets called for the foul.
It's kind of got the vibe here that Hanover's starting lineup is kind of giving up on this one, and Lebanon's starting to out-hustle them and just outplay them here at this point.
Gantrish picks up his second foul.
From what we've seen from Hanover this season, very surprising game so far.
No question. Down 36-15 as we approach 3 minutes to play here in the quarter, third quarter.
Down 21. I mean, if you're Hanover, you need to stop here, obviously, but you're really going to get this down to around, 12, 13 points if you really want a legitimate shot at it in the fourth quarter.
And a little aggressive play from both teams. Going to go to Lebanon. Hanover, Hank Pikus picks up the foul, and that is his fourth foul. So we're going to leave him out there. At this point, you need him. One more foul is not going to matter, and that's going to be an offensive charge by Bates. Turnover. Trying to drive baseline. Defender was set. And here's Hanover. They got a chance now of creating another turnover.
This is where you got to start to chip away. I mean, you got to get points every possession here and give yourself a fighting chance here in the fourth quarter.
Pikus drives in.
That's the
nice
guy you need.
Yep.
That's the guy you need to get going.
He's got 5, 2:30 to play.
We know he can score in bunches. We know he can shoot from deep.
And they're going to get Gantrish for the reach in there. He was trying to play some aggressive basketball, just a little too aggressive. And 2:28 to play. We have a timeout on the floor. The Raiders in control of this one. 36-17. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Elizabeth Durazio, and
I'm your host, Abby Peel.
coming to you from the town of Hopkinton.
Coming to you from the New London Barn Playhouse. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming on this beautiful day.
Beautiful day, perfect spring day.
We've been here as a staple in many of the communities. And
so many people that you get to meet and a wonderful community that you feel like you're always welcome in.
With this great opportunity of opening a restaurant that's really community focused.
So join us again next week
for a new edition of Yankee Chronicle.
To me, it was a no-brainer to switch to the Anderson 400 series window.
From the exterior of the house, you can't tell which windows are old and which windows are new. They're really very compatible.
I really appreciate the energy efficiency of the 400 series.
Anderson, in my opinion, is the heavyweight champ.
Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the H.R. Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We will choose the team member that had the greatest impact on today's game. H.R. Clough is, like our student athletes, dedicated to performing the best and providing the best results every day.
Our announcers as well.
There you go. We're trying to provide the results, and Calvin Bates, he's got 6 now, quietly.
Yeah, he got some results there. A nice layup for Bates to extend it back to 21.
Three-pointer from Pikus, and he may be heating up.
Yeah, he got that layup. Maybe that kind of opened up the lid to that hoop for him.
Got 8 points now. Still time, inside 2 minutes. And a three-pointer off the mark there. That's going to be a foul against the Raiders. Or no, they're going to say it hit the top. No foul, it hit the above the basket. So it'll go back to Hanover. Pikus let the ball roll up. Precious seconds, even though there's only the third quarter. He's going to go to the hoop, loses it, but gets it back nicely.
Yeah, he dribbled that one off his foot, but got a fortunate bounce there and got it right back to him.
Got some new faces in this one. Brennan's in there. Galbraith's still in there, but also number 15, Derek Lacey. And a little shot from Adams kind of throws up a prayer.
Yeah, that'll work. I mean,
3 straight possessions they've scored, and now cut it down to 16.
Adams didn't exactly have his feet set. He wasn't square to the hoop. He kind of threw it off to his side, but shot fell.
Three-pointer from the corner. They leave Stone open. He hits another 3. He's got 8.
Hanover's going to be careful not to focus too much on their struggling offense and remember to play defense here. They need stops just as much as they need hoops at this point.
And Adams drives to the hoop. He'll be fouled. It's before the shot. It's on the floor, so. And Tommy Bertha Savage will be called for the foul. His third, team 6th. Nice little cut, but couldn't get anything going as Brennan got the rebound, or got the inbounds, and then the turnaround jumper, no good. Lacey, inside a minute to play now.
Another nice job with Lebanon playing nice defense there, contesting the free throw jumper.
Passing it inside, and it's bounced off a Hanover defender, so it'll stay with Lebanon.
Yeah,
41 seconds.
Fortunate break there. Bates' pass was way too low. It was right at the ankles, and no chance of catching that one and getting that one up.
Smith driving baseline, a foul before the shot. It's going to be free throws, though, because that's a bonus situation here as Hanover has 7 fouls. Smith will shoot 1 and 1. He's 1 for 3 from the line so far.
Both teams getting up there in fouls, 7-6 here. There's been a lot more fouls in the second half of this game than the first half.
Yeah, we're going to see some free throws the rest of this third quarter and into the fourth quarter as we see Smith hitting his first there.
Yeah, you'll love to see the guys hit that clutch first one on the 1-and-1s. 1-and-1's not something you see in pro ball, but college and high school you see quite frequently, and they're very important.
And
even more important, Bates with the offensive rebound. Nobody boxed him out, and he got an easy offensive rebound and putback. That was,
And on the other end, Joe Brennan comes down with a nice pass and puts it back up.
It feels like a waste after giving up easy 2 to Lebanon, though.
Right. And they've had that where they've had a nice bucket and they've given up a basket. And here we see Bates again. He hits the 3 and he's got 11 all of a sudden. That came on fast.
Yeah, there it goes with Lebanon. You never know who's going to put up the points. They come in a hurry from anybody, anywhere, anytime. And Bates is their 3rd player in double figures.
And that's going to do it for the third quarter. The Raiders have almost doubled up the Marauders, 47-24 after 3. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
Make your life simpler. From the beginning, creating design through the commercial print process and ending with custom mailing, all easily coordinated in one place. Echo Communications provides simple solutions in a challenging world. One place, many solutions. Learn more at echocominc.com.
No matter what season it is, you can always find the best in American and Italian cuisine at Bubba's Bar and Grill in Newbury, New Hampshire. Stop in to enjoy our fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizzas, the award-winning seafood chowder, and a new seasonal menu just right for the cooler months. Dine in or take out. You can check out our full lunch and dinner menus along with daily specials on our website each day as well. Bubba's Bar and Grill, just 2 miles from Mount Sunapee in the beautiful harbor of Newbury, New Hampshire.
There we go. It's not bad.
Start of the fourth quarter here in Hanover. Raiders pulling away in this one, 47-24, and they're also already in the bonus. You wonder what Hanover does to start this fourth quarter. Maybe play hard for a couple minutes, see if you can cut it down. If not, you just rest your players. And immediately a foul there will put the Raiders to the free throw line, Bertha Savage.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for the coaching staff for Hanover to keep the players motivated here. Being basically doubled up here. Now they are officially doubled up, 48-24. This coaching staff might want to just think about bringing in the bench and, resting the starters for the playoffs.
2 free throws from Bertha Savage. He's got only 2 points. And then a turnover goes the other way, tipped around, but Williman comes up with it and turned over again.
I'll tell you, if you're Lebanon, though, you're thrilled with the way you play defense. I mean, they've given up nothing easy, and if you're going into the playoffs with the way they played so far, you are extremely confident right now. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Bo, who beat Lebanon earlier this year. No team playing this Lebanon team after watching tonight should be confident that they're going to get an easy win.
White on the other end gets his 3rd field goal. He's got 8 points. Now Williman taking his time. And it's going to be a foul against the Raiders. I'm going to call it maybe an arm push or maybe on a screen, but either way, Lebanon with a foul.
Didn't look like much contact, but
well, I guess it's like one
Marauder
of those games where it's a 21-point game, so Keith Matty isn't too upset. Doesn't want to see that one called in a one-possession game. Pikus, off-balance 3, no good.
Nice
Here comes
touch
Stone,
pass.
and he finishes at the rim. He's got 10.
Yeah, Bertha Savage there with a great touch pass. He really made that play happen, that fast break.
Here's White double teamed, and he looked like it was blocked, but they're going to call the foul against, I believe, Stone. And it will be against Stone, as we see.
And let's see the foul here, but this is why White's so dangerous. He gets in low, and he's just so strong. He gets the ball up. I mean, I can't tell. Did he get ball there?
He got some ball,
but maybe a little bit of arm as well.
So that'll be his 3rd foul, Jackson White, and the team's 8th.
But White's so big and physical. I mean, even if it was all ball, he's violent down in the post, and it just looks nasty no matter what. So sometimes when you're that big and strong, it looks like you got fouled even though you might not have. The problem with Hanover is they just haven't been able to get him the ball in the post.
And White does sink both free throws. He's had a good night from the line. He's 4 for 5, and he's got 10 points. Timeout on the floor, 51-28 Lebanon. YCN, Game of the Week.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. H.R. Clough installs water conditioning systems to purify your water and add life to your hot water heating system. Now is the perfect time for one of our expert staff to evaluate your needs. For a free estimate, call H.R. Clough today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
Our next YCN Game of the Week will be either the New Hampshire Division II Girls Championship, if any of our local teams make it, All our games are replayed Sunday at noon and anytime at YCNnow.com. So hoping Hanover and Lebanon make it to that semifinal game. And then we'll see if the championship.
We're going to start seeing Lebanon probably play a much more methodical half-court offense here with a huge lead. Play a game that is not conducive to turnovers. You don't want to turn the ball over here. You want to get good looks, which they actually did get, and they ran some time off the clock. They might even get the offensive rebound. What a battle! They'll call a jump ball, which will go Hanover's way with the possession arrow pointing that way, but
hey, good hustle by both teams in a 23-point game.
Bodies everywhere. This is what rivalry games do, even in blowouts.
So on senior night here in Hanover, Marauders didn't really get anything going, couldn't find their shots. When they had the shots, they weren't hitting them. It fell behind early. It was 25-11 at half, and now as you see, we sit here 51-28, and a traveling violation called against Picus.
Yeah, that's a travel in high school, that's a travel in college. That's perfectly okay in the NBA, but good call by the officials. You're allowed, I think, 4.5 steps in the NBA?
Is that in the G League or in the real league? Is that a travel, or both, or neither?
I'd probably both. Anything with NBA in the title.
It's allowed.
Yeah.
51-28. Lebanon going with the outlet pass up to Stone, and he gets it and will go to the line.
And that's how you outdo that full court press. Just a great job. He just starts sprinting like a receiver, and a beautiful pass. Straight to the end zone with the contact.
Nice finish there by Stone. He's got 12.
Yeah, there was nobody for either team in the back in the front court there, I should say. Front court, back court. I guess it would be back court.
And we got a timeout on the floor. We'll take a break as well. 5:55 to play in this one. 53-28. Lebanon in control.
There once was a haunted house. People said they had heard voices, but no one dared to go inside.
There's a place for wood in your backyard. We recommend the Fire Pit. For looks and performance that outlast a wooden deck, make sure your next deck is built with Trex, the world's #1 premium decking brand.
Trex products are available at LaValley Middleton Building Supply. Visit us at lavalleys.com.
Lebanon Raiders entering back onto the court with this game pretty well in hand. 25-point lead. They should hold Hanover to their lowest point output of the season. As you mentioned, what was it, 54 points? In a win against John Stark.
12-point win, I believe, too.
Yeah, so, 54-42.
I mean, Hanover hasn't had to deal with this kind of adversity yet this season, so we'll see how they can rebound. I'm sure they can. They got a lot of talent on this roster. You know, round one of the playoffs, you would think they would be okay in, but, you know, they have to bounce back. They got to make sure their confidence stays high.
Out of the timeout, Stone hits the free throw to complete the three-point play. He has 13 points.
Those points added up for Stone quick, too. He really helped put this game away in the second half.
Inside 6 minutes. Now it's just about Hanover trying to, like I said, get some of that momentum back going into the playoffs as we see Gantrish. Because even though obviously it'll be a team that should be able to handle, you just like to go into that with some made baskets in your recent history.
That looked like maybe a little contact there. I think Lebanon could have got a call, and they probably would have in a closer game. But another great job of beating the full court press there with another Hail Mary pass.
Picus with a pull-up, 15-footer, no good. White comes down with a rebound and then loses it. And falls Arano. Adams guards him heavily. 5 minutes to play in this one. Lead at 24 for the Raiders. That one tipped away, but a foul is going to be called against Adams, and Stone go back to the free throw line. Adams will foul. Oh no, Pikus is going to get.
Yeah, that was a reach in for Pikus from behind there. He kind of got him in the elbow.
And he's going to foul out. He's going to end with 8 points. He has 8 points,
Very
1
good.
for 2 from the line, and that's
Timeout
going to
there?
end his night. No, just after the 5th foul, they get a little 10-second reset, I guess. Just going to reset after Pikus gets fouled out. Try and figure out who to put in, and it looks like we got Brett Simmons is out there. Of course, Gantrish is still out there. Adams, White, and Brennan. One of the free throw line is Stone, and he'll be shooting 2 free throws now, double bonus. Missing the front end, he's 1 for 2. Watch our Yankee Chronicle every week on this station at 8:30 p.m. on Thursday and 8 p.m. on Saturday. This coming week, YCN will be again at Bella Tate's Building Materials in Andover as we see Stone hitting the second free throw. 3-point attempt is good. Nolan Gantrish.
That might have been
8.
Hanover's best look of the game so far. A nice kick out, and Gantrish was kind of left uncovered. And this is probably their most open shot of the game, and there he goes, hits the 3.
Inside 4.5 minutes to play. Hanover still fighting hard.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing that they need to do, just hit some shots and get their offense going a little bit here, because when you get to the playoffs, the defenses you're facing, they're not going to go any easier on you.
And Falzarano sneaks free. He gets his first field goal. He's also 2 for 3 from the line. He's got 4 points. Turnover back to Hanover halfway through this 4th quarter, 57-33. Got to imagine in the next couple of minutes you'll take some players out if you are Coach Keith Maddie, but instead he's going to keep putting players in. Williman looks to get ready to be checked in as Wade Rainey, who has been held scoreless tonight. He'll be at the free throw line, shoot a pair. No good on the front end. And I'm going to wait Williman. Williman is going to come in for Bates.
Great little effort here by Bates in the second half.
Hey, he's got 11 points. Got a little bit of a flurry here in that second half. Missing both. And White comes away with it. 3-pointer off the mark. We're going to have to play. Lebanon can hold on to this 24-point lead. Shouldn't be a problem. They will tie Hanover in the standings 15-3 apiece, which could set up a tie-breaking scenario between those two teams, or maybe a couple other ones, depending on how the other games go.
Yeah, we're going to foul here and some more free throws, but I mean, make no mistake about it. 15-3 for both these teams. 2 outstanding seasons for them, and you know, a lot of changes from last season. Keith Maddie wasn't even with his Lebanon team last season. He took last season off, comes back in and gets his Lebanon Raiders team to a 15-3. I mean, both these teams should be very proud of how they played this season.
Caleb Smith missing the front end. That foul was against Simmons. It was his first. Obviously, Hanover's already over the limit. So.
Anytime you're getting a home game in the first round of the playoffs, you should be pretty satisfied with yourself.
Driving baseline, no good. Falzarano on the floor. White jumping in. It looked like Brennan was in there as well.
And still bodies flying around on the floor with 3:06 left in a blowout. So
they're gonna
these
call
kids,
the foul, right?
Yeah, I mean, foul or no foul, just the effort. Like to see that effort out there.
Foul's gonna go against Smith. His third. White at the free throw line. 1 and 1. First free throw is up and good, and he's had a good night talked about his free throw shooting, how it has struggled in the games we've been at, and it paled in comparison to the rest of his team, but he's 5 for 6 tonight. So a good night from the line from White with 11 points. And there we go, 6 for 7. He's got 12.
And White just a sophomore too, remember, and he's certainly their most dominant player down low. Huge low post presence, and he's going to be a big key.
3:06 to play. Lebanon in control, 58-35, fourth quarter, final regular season game.
The New Hampshire Heritage Collection by M.J. Harrington Jewelers is imagined and designed by our craftsmen, inspired by the natural beauty and special places that make New Hampshire extraordinary. The Old Man of the Mountain, Common Loon, Covered Bridge, Sap Bucket, and New Hampshire Lakes Collection are tributes to the story of the Granite State, made in America, handcrafted, uniquely yours, from M.J. Harrington Jewelers.
Welcome back. Hanover Marauders trying to figure something out here for the final 3:06 as they find themselves trailing by 23 and never got it going in this one. And it looks like most of the starters still out there, at least the ones who haven't fouled out. Lebanon basketball. Falzarano will inbound. And he's going to go again. Deep pass, this one to Williman, and he gets it to fall. Another one.
I mean, they're only 2 for 3 on points out of that play, but really they're 3 for 3 out of success. That one that they didn't get was just kind of a tough break for Lebanon.
And then Gantrish answers with a 3. He's got 11. Come up short in this one, but a good effort.
Yeah, the same thing there. Wade Rainey was streaking down the court. He was looking for his Hail Mary pass, but it never came that time.
And then nice defense by Adams, sneaking up into the passing lane. White to Gantrish, off the mark.
Good pass by White there. More
Here
Hail
comes
Marys
Falzarano.
coming in.
He gets the outlet from Williman. Nice little bucket after
you
the
get
outlet.
the rebound, you keep your head up, and look for those guys streaking down the court, and he threw it almost the entire length of the court for the layup.
Nice play by Williman and Falzarano. Turned over, here goes Falzarano again from Williman.
And this is why Hanover should just take their starters out. It's just looking worse and worse by the minute.
And the more of this back and forth you get, the more chance of an injury or ankle or something. So yeah, you're right, there's no sense. And that's what they're gonna do. Finally take out all the starters. Both sides will empty their benches. Crowd getting into it, of course, mostly the Lebanon fans cheering on their team with a 64-38 lead.
It's hard to blame the coach and staff for Hanover for leaving them in. A lot of seniors were on the court. Senior night here.
Right.
This is their last regular season game. Let them have some fun, but they have playoffs to worry about. They will be back in this building.
15-3 will be the records after this one. And if Hollis Brookline can defeat Milford tonight, I believe they'll be in line for the 3 seed. So that ever coveted 4th seed to get those 2 playoff home games will be on the line.
Pelham with the outside chance as well.
Yep,
They're playing a very tough one against Bow tonight. Pelham, we know, can win some tough games. They obviously beat Hanover, and they're in the last game that they played. They played Lebanon fairly tough, but did fall to them 61-49.
And then we see Bates again with a bucket. He's back in this one. As the starters have exited, he's got 13 points. That foul's going to go against number 32, Anthony Perriello, and the free throw, Brett Simmons will shoot a pair.
I was about to say it's going to be a very happy ride home for this Lebanon team tonight, but it's only like 30 seconds.
Right, not too far.
So they don't have too much time to be happy about it.
So we got Bo leading 37-27. That's not going to really matter for the standings, I don't believe. Trying to get some other store. I mean, they'll wrap up the number one seed.
Yeah.
Final minute here, 67-40. Lebanon. It was their night as we see the steal.
The story was just complete domination by this Lebanon defense tonight. I mean, as we mentioned, the previous low for Hanover was 54. I mean, they're getting some garbage points here. They're up to 42, but this is going to be the lowest output for Hanover all season. Lebanon, I mean, it wasn't just Hanover being cold. Lebanon was just swarming them, creating turnovers. And they played an amazing defensive game. They took Jai White out of the game early, really making it hard to get the ball inside.
And see the steal here by Lacey, who will go coast to coast, not able to convert. And the rebound, Gariello. That should do it. Bertha Savage in control of this one. And the Lebanon Raiders have avenged the earlier season loss to the Marauders. And they win this one 67-42. A big 25-point statement win on the road to end the regular season. And the Raiders improve to 15-3. Hanover falls to 15-3. We'll take our final break and come back with the post-game wrap-up on the YCN Game of the Week.
Warner's Main Street Bookends has been your community bookstore since 1998 and voted Yankee Magazine's Editor's Pick Must-See Bookstore. Bookends is a full-service store offering a huge selection of current fiction and nonfiction with children's book selection, toys, and games. Bookends has a huge card selection for all occasions, along with Main Street Marketplace and Gallery in the attached barn. 100% solar, Main Street Bookends of Warner is building your community one book at a time.
Why is it always time for pizza in New England? Because Ramonto's brick oven pizzas are popping up everywhere. With dough made fresh daily and baked in brick ovens, plus pasta, sandwiches, and artisan salads always from fresh ingredients, you're never far from good times and great food at Ramonto's. Ramonto's brick oven pizzas are the locally owned restaurants that make freshness taste so good. Want a piece of the pie? Visit Ramontos.com for franchise opportunities.
William A. Smith Auction Gallery hosts 45 auctions a year. Our customer base is worldwide, and our reputation is for honesty and fairness.
Right there, $5,000, $3,000. I got two there, thank you.
Join us for one of our live auctions. Check out the auction schedule on our website. Auction day is lively and fun.
Sold $3,381. Yeah, sold $253. Sold $850 straight away.
We look forward to seeing you on auction day.
Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Elizabeth Durazio, and
I'm your host, Abby Peel.
coming to you from the town of Hopkinton.
Coming to you from the New London Barn Playhouse. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming on this beautiful day.
Beautiful day, perfect spring day.
We've been here as a staple in many of the communities. And
so many people that you get to meet and a wonderful community that you feel like you're always welcome in.
With this great opportunity of opening a restaurant that's really community focused.
So join us again next week
for a new edition of Yankee Chronicle.
Welcome back. Final score here in Hanover. Lebanon defeats Hanover 67-42. They got out early to a 12-7 lead after the first. They led by 14 at half and then just continued to pile it on in the 25-point blowout to end the regular season. Let's get right to it for the player of the game. H.R. Clough, Kearsarge Heating, turning up the heat. Player of the game, who you got?
Typical Lebanon Raider fashion, it's not easy to choose. They had 4 players in double figures. They were led, though, tonight by Caleb Smith's team-high 15 points. He really carried the team in the first half when it was a little hard for them to score. They really picked their scoring up in the second half, but his efforts in the first half that really propelled them to that lead is the reason I'm giving Caleb Smith the player of the game.
All right, so Caleb Smith, the H.R. Clough Kearsarge Heating, turning up the heat, player of the game with 15 points, followed closely by Jackson Stone with 14, John Willeman with 14, and Calvin Bates with 13, and then coming in Logan Falls-Arana with 8, and Bertha Savage with 2 free throws to finish with 2. And on the Hanover side, Scott obviously never really got anything going, didn't have a lot of looks. When they had the looks, they weren't making them. Just a tough night for Hanover and a tough way to end the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, nobody was hot. Nobody had a good game. The offense looked a lot like they were just, they were clunky tonight. That's probably the best word to put for them. They were clunky. White was their leading scorer with 12. He did a lot of that damage from the free throw line, actually. He didn't have many field goals. We've seen Pikus get hot. He won the game last time we saw these two teams play. He had a pretty cold shooting night. He finished with just 8 and fouled out. Gantry's had a good game. He's kind of their third weapon there. Nothing really went well for the Marauders tonight.
Yeah, it didn't start well, didn't end well. They end their season with a loss, but they'll be secured. They have secured a playoff spot, no question about it. They may be still in line for a 4 seed or something of that, where they'll host at least a couple playoff games, so we'll have to wait till the brackets come out later. Maybe this weekend those should be final. So the final score for the final time, the Lebanon Raiders defeat the Hanover Marauders 67-42. For Scott Quimby, I'm Jeremy Stout. Thanks for watching the YCN Game of the Week.